Hey, I'm Todd Martens with the Los Angeles Times, and we are here with the Nintendo Switch 2, which was released June 5th. I've had the console for about a full day now. I also spent a day with it in New York at a Nintendo preview event. And the question I keep getting asked is it worth it? And that's a really difficult question to answer because it's hard to tell somebody to spend $450 for what is essentially a luxury item, as much as I love games and as important as I think play is. So I think there's a few questions you should ask yourself before you go make the purchase. One, are you a fan of Mario Kart? Mario Kart World is the one new standout game for the Nintendo Switch 2. This is a Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive, and I think it's pretty dazzling. If you're a Mario Kart fan, this does offer some new tricks. You could go free roaming around the world and just sort of drive and explore and do mini challenges, or you can do a race with 24 people, the most ever in a Mario Kart game, or there's also a new time challenge where you have to sort of maintain a certain level in the pole position to move on. Two, how big of a fan of Mario Kart are you? Because if you're buying a Nintendo system, you're buying it for Nintendo console games, and the next major Nintendo game isn't out for a month and a half, and that is Donkey Kong Bonanza. I've also played that at the Nintendo event, and I do think that is a charmer. So you play as Donkey Kong, and Donkey Kong runs through the world, it's very malleable, and sort of creates his own paths. So I do think people are going to be excited for that one. There was a smaller game that was released with the Switch 2, and that is the Nintendo Welcome Tour. That is $9.99, and it is more a tutorial as a game. It is full of little weird mini games where you sort of use one of the Joy-Cons as a mouse. You have to do these time challenges. Some of them are basically just testing your ability to see where it rumbles the most, or to try to avoid hitting parts of the wall. So they're little sort of games that show off the tech of the system. I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's cute. I think it should have been included with the system. I don't think it's necessarily worth $9.99. People have also told me they're concerned about the upgrade process. I will tell you that it was actually pretty seamless for me. I got my Switch 2 in the afternoon, and I had it updated with the new hardware system, and I was transferring my save data and my games within about an hour. It was really simple. You just sort of set your two Switches up next to each other, you scan a QR code, log in the Nintendo system, and it's pretty seamless. And then from there, you can sort of pick and choose which games you want to port over. So that's bringing us back around to the original question, and should you purchase a Nintendo Switch 2? If you're concerned about your Switch 1 suddenly being out of date, don't be. Nintendo has said they will support the system. There will be new games released for the Switch 1, although some games, such as Mario Kart World, will be Switch 2 exclusive. That being said, it is a hefty investment, but I do think it is a worthy investment if you're a fan of video games and you're a fan of Nintendo. I like that it has a larger screen. I like that it's a little bit more robust. It feels a little heftier in your hands. I like the sort of mouse controls of the controller. And I also like that Nintendo is including free upgrades to a number of games. I re-downloaded Super Mario Bros. Wonder, which is one of my favorite Mario Bros. Games, and it does look and feel a little bit better on the Switch 2. Probably not enough that you're going to feel like you need to rush out and get the Switch for it, but it is a noticeable upgrade. And that kind of stuff, long term, makes you feel a little bit better about the purchase. So for a more in-depth review of the Switch 2, follow the LA Times. We'll post something in the coming days, and we'll also continue to cover major games for the console. Thanks for watching, and talk to you soon.